There was a time in my life when everything looked perfect from the outside. I was working at a respected financial firm in the heart of New York City, surrounded by incredibly talented, driven, and intelligent people. I had a career many would envy. My boss was someone I deeply admired, wise, strategic, and successful. And yet, something inside me was stirring. One day, I walked into his office with a decision already forming in my heart. I told him I was planning to leave the company, not to take another high-paying job, not to move to another city. I was going to start something new, a bookstore on the internet. He didn't react right away. Instead, he invited me to go on a walk through Central Park. We walked for hours, speaking little at first. He listened closely to what I had to say, my hopes, my idea, my passion. And finally he turned to me and said, "That actually sounds like a really good idea, but it would be a better idea for someone who doesn't already have a good job." That sentence echoed in my mind for days. It was said with kindness, not judgment. But it made me realize just how powerful inertia is, how seductive comfort can be, how easily we can choose security over purpose. Because in life we can have a job, something we do just to get by, or a career, something that builds our status, our resume, maybe even our legacy. But there is a third path, a rarer one, a calling. And if you're fortunate enough to hear that voice inside you, whispering or shouting, and brave enough to follow it, then you found something precious. You found the jackpot. Years later, a friend of mine remembered that time. He shared how I told him I'd start a bookstore from my garage, that I'd ship the books myself, that I'd build it online, while most people didn't even know what the internet really was. And then apparently I told him this: "If you invest in me, Dave, one day I'm going to be the richest man in the world." At the time, it sounded insane. There were no $100 billion companies, not in tech, not in retail, not anywhere. Even governments didn't throw around numbers like that. But it wasn't the number that mattered. It was the belief, the conviction, the vision. He didn't believe me. He laughed. And to be honest, I didn't know it would happen either, but I believed in the possibility. I was already acting like it could happen. I was applauding the effort. I had committed to the path, not the guarantee. That was the difference. I chose to believe. I chose to try. If there's one message I could give to every young person standing at the edge of their future, it's this: do not chase the trendy passion of the moment. Do not choose the hot idea just because others are doing it. That's not where greatness lives. Instead, look inward. Ask yourself, what do I care about? What problem would I still work on, even if I failed 10 times? What drives your curiosity? When I stood at the crossroads, I realized something important. If I tried and failed, I could live with that. But if I never tried at all, that regret would haunt me forever. So I took the risk. I gave up a well-paying, stable job for something uncertain, untested, and unknown. I followed the path that felt true, not safe. And I'm proud of that decision, not because it led to success, but because it was mine. It was a choice made in alignment with my values and vision. As a child, I was a curious tinkerer. I invented strange things: an automatic gate closer made from tires and cement, a solar cooker made from an umbrella and foil, alarm systems to catch my siblings sneaking into my room. Most of it didn't work. But it didn't matter. I wasn't chasing results. I was chasing wonder. That spirit of building, exploring, experimenting, it stuck with me. It reminds me of a phrase I love from the military: slow is smooth, and smooth is fast. I found that to be true in every major undertaking. Whether you're building a business, developing a relationship, or pursuing mastery in any skill, the steady, intentional path leads to lasting success. Now let's talk about something that often gets misunderstood: talent. You may be gifted in some way, great at numbers, a natural athlete, a beautiful voice, an exceptional memory. These are blessings, but you cannot take pride in your gifts. Why? Because you didn't earn them. They were given to you. What you can be proud of are your choices. You chose to work hard. You chose to face fear. You chose to keep showing up when others quit. You chose to do what was difficult, when it would have been easier to stay still. It's those choices, not your gifts, that define you.
Every single one of us gets to write our own life story, page by page, day by day. So here's what I ask you. Will you let fear write your story? Will you let comfort choose your path? Or will you step into the unknown with courage? Will you follow the crowd or carve your own road? Will you choose comfort and ease or service and adventure? Will you give up when it's tough? Or will you rise again and again? When you're 80 years old and you look back, will you be proud of the risks you didn't take or the ones you did? Here's what I've learned. Be relentless. Be kind. Build things that empower others. Measure yourself not by wealth or fame, but by impact, service, and joy. And above all, be original. Be bold. Be the author of your own life. The world today is moving faster than ever before. The opportunities before us are endless. The problems we can solve, the lives we can touch, it's all possible now more than ever. There has never been a more exciting time to be alive. So I leave you with this. What will you do with your gifts? What choices will you make? What story will you tell about the life you chose to live?